mother's worst fear.
I was terrified that I would never, ever get to hold her again. Please, I just need my baby back.
This is crazy.
It was a concern in our minds about selling the baby on the black market.
If this person were to get to the airport, we may never see either one of them ever again.
It's a race against the clock to rescue an
Know if she was dead or alive.
before it's too late.
Children can't defend themselves. Nobody's going home until we find this baby. There are people in this world who will go to any length to solve a personal problem. Trust your fellow man? I don't.
It's Friday morning, and Evelyn Reed is interviewing babysitters for her 4-week-old granddaughter.
Okay, Sharon, what about infants? Do you have any experience?
Yes. As a matter of fact, the last family I worked for, they had a newborn and a 5-year-old.
They sat in the living room and talked for a while. She was quite impressed with this lady.
Your resume looks great. I think we should set something up.
Sure.
Would you hold her for a minute so I can get the phone?
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you.
The phone is in another room, and the most logical thing in the world, really, is here, you hold the baby. Let's see how you do.
Hello?
Evelyn was talking to this person on the phone, and when she completed the conversation, she returned back into the living room.
Sharon?
Oh my God, what are you doing? Where are you going? Stop! Where are you going? My baby!
Across town, Sergeant Joe Kenda is stuck in the hot seat.
The homicide unit's budget is getting out of control.
I was always annoyed when I signed up to kick doors and pull guns on people, and I'm good at that. I didn't sign up to read spreadsheets.
With all due respect, sir, I'm not going to let a case slip through the cracks due to money. It's not what we do.
I looked down at that pager, and it says 911, and my thought was, bless you. I just got out of this meeting.
Now, if you pardon me, sir, I have an emergency to take care of. Overtime or not.
Directs Kenda to a residential neighborhood where he's met by Sergeant Robert Sapp, head of the Juvenile Crimes Unit.
Bob?
Joe, thanks for coming.
So what do you got?
Got an abduction. Infant, 4-week-old, Rachel White, taken from inside. The baby's grandmother, Evelyn Reed, was inside interviewing babysitters at the time, and one of them ran off with baby Rachel.
Any contact with her? Ransom?
Nothing so far. Look, we're in the dark about this, but first responders were able to put together a brief description of the lady and her vehicle.
That's the grandmother?
That's her.
You want to talk to her?
Let's do it.
The first move is to question the 911 caller, the missing infant's grandmother, Evelyn Reed.
Thank you. We'll take it from there. Hello, ma'am. I'm Sergeant Sapp. This is Sergeant Kenda. Today, just know that every available officer will be out looking for baby Rachel.
She felt that she was responsible for the child being gone. When something goes wrong, we blame ourselves.
Your daughter, is she the child's mother?
Yes, Cora, I called her. She's on her way.
Ma'am, we will find your granddaughter, but we need to know everything.
Please, tell us from the beginning.
She says that she's been taking care of young Rachel White for her daughter, Cora, because Cora had to return to work.
But they need some an ad in a newspaper asking for babysitters.
Hi.
Hi.
Sharon.
Sharon Sanchez. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. So glad you could come today.
She appears to be well-dressed. She's very polite. She is Hispanic, but speaks English perfectly.
Would you have somebody like this who has obviously planned this abduction out? They give a phony name and give a phony telephone number. They don't want to be tracked.
She had red highlights in her hair.
Did you notice anything strange about her?
Absolutely nothing. Okay, thanks. Bye.
Then, in an instant, baby Rachel was gone.
Oh my God, what are you doing? Stop! Where are you going? My baby!
She sees a silver sedan with Texas license plates.
Speed down the street to the west.
The license plate. Were you able to make out any of the digits?
It was really muddy.
I should have never given Rachel to her.
You had no way of knowing.
He's right. And don't worry, we will find this woman and bring your granddaughter home safe.
But Kenda realizes they may be making a promise they can't keep.
A Hispanic female, black hair with red highlights, and well-dressed. That fits maybe 10,000 women.
Kenda's concerned this kidnapper isn't following the typical playbook.
There's no phone call of any kind coming to this family. So then you get very fearful. If this is not a ransom demand, then what is it?
In fact, CSPD is already conducting a citywide search for Rachel and her kidnapper.
We're putting out the information to everybody with a badge and a gun in El Paso County and the state of Colorado, the airport police, bus stations, Amtrak.
When you're looking at a stranger abduction of a 4-week-old child, any hour that goes by and that child's not found puts that child in more and more danger of never being found.
When your daughter Cora comes in, we'll all go downtown and we'll have you do a composite sketch of the woman. Could you do that? Let's go inside.
Ma'am, the officer will stay with you right now.
Inside Cora's home, desperate for clues.
Amy, how we doing in there?
Well, we're not finished yet, but we haven't found anything. There's no prints on the doorknob, there's no hair, no nothing.
The grandmother said she brought a resume in with her. Maybe we can get something off that.
Haven't found it yet, sir.
She was very meticulous in how she did it. She probably didn't touch a whole lot of things in the house, because if she had left some evidentiary stuff there, then it would have helped us tremendously.
Looks like the baby mother's arrived.
God, if that was one of my kids, I don't know what I would do.
My mother called me and I felt like I had just been thrown into, like a tidal wave went over me and I couldn't hear and I couldn't breathe, but I didn't blame her.
After giving Cora and Evelyn a moment to commiserate, the detectives begin questioning them.
Cora?
We know this is a difficult time for you, but we have to find your daughter as soon as possible. And to do that, we have to ask you a few questions.
I understand.
Rachel's father, is he in the picture?
Yes, well, not really.
What does that mean? Not really. She goes on to explain that she had met a man whose name is James, but there's a problem.
Okay, but?
It was difficult to explain my personal life only because at that time I wanted them to look for my daughter. And I felt like it was just wasting so much time because none of that mattered.
His wife, Becky, found out about us. But, okay, look, what has this got to do with anything? My baby is out there somewhere. Shouldn't we be looking for her?
Ma'am, I give you my word. Right now, half the patrol divisions. Meantime, it's my job and Sergeant Sapp's job to try and figure this out.
Okay.
So what happened when Becky found out?
Hello? You think I don't know? Excuse me?
Do you think I'm stupid? You stay away from my husband, you horrible bitch!
As soon as Cora realized it was Becky at the front door, she just slammed the door and refused to talk to her.
I couldn't handle all of that, so I broke it off with Jim and I left Canyon City.
Cora decides that she's going to move to Colorado Springs and let the affair die a natural death by her absence.
But then I missed him, and he started coming to... And then I got pregnant, and I told him I wanted to keep the baby.
And he didn't want you to?
No, he was supportive.
What about the wife? Does she know about the baby?
I don't know.
Kenda considers the possibility that Jim's scorned wife, Becky, may be somehow involved in this kidnapping.
What if Becky decides revenge is her motivation? Everything else is in the back burner. A kidnapped 4-week-old child that was a product of an affair with a married man. What if their wife decides to get even?
So you got to think right away that we have to put Becky at the top of our suspect list at this point.
So what does Becky look like?
She's white, blonde. I mean, she's not Hispanic, so she couldn't be the woman that took Rachel.
But just because Becky doesn't resemble the suspect, the abduction.
You know, when people go off that edge and their thinking becomes, you know what, I am just going to hire somebody to get a hold of that baby, and then it will go away.
I'll speak to Becky. Can you and your detectives speak with Jim?
Absolutely. Does Jim know what happened to Rachel yet?
Yeah, I called Jim right after my mom called me. He's on his way here now to see me.
I'll stay here and wait for him.
Good, thank you.
I'll step back inside.
Once Jim Chase arrives, Kenda takes him to police headquarters to learn more about his romantic relationships, both with Cora Abbott and his wife Becky.
Look, Jim, I'll get straight to the point. You're a married man. So how did things start with Cora?
It's been on again, off again. Things were not good with my wife, Becky. And then one night I bumped into Cora. The first time I met Cora, she was 13. It was my first job as a teacher at her school.
Seriously?
Well, nothing happened. She was just a student. But then 10 years later, when she was 23, I ran into her again. So kind of got distracted.
Mr. Chase, sorry, is that you?
Yes, I'm sorry, Yanya.
Oh, yeah, I'm Cora. I went to Washington Junior High when you taught there.
Oh my God, Cora. Wow. Yeah, of course.
Well, I just recognized you, so I wanted to say hi.
I'm glad you did.
But you were a married man at that point.
Yeah.
So how long have you been seeing each other?
4 years.
What about your wife? Did she know what was going on?
Yeah. Yeah, Becky found out, not the way I wanted.
Hello? Becky, you need to know this? It doesn't matter. It's about your husband.
An anonymous phone call was made to his wife, informing her that her husband was having an affair with Cora.
What happened after that?
Things got bad, but ultimately Becky forgave me. We didn't want to break up the family, so I ended it with Cora.
They had somehow come to peace over this, and it helped enormously that Cora moved away from Canyon City.
But according to Jim, that wasn't the end of his and Cora's affair.
I couldn't stay away. I tried. I begged her to take me back, and that's when she got pregnant.
Look, Mr. Chase, I need to know. Does your wife Becky know about the baby?
Yeah, Becky knows.
An hour's drive away in Canyon City, Sergeant Robert Sapp is already getting Becky's side of the story.
I'm here because we were investigating the kidnapping of a baby this morning. The infant is 4 weeks old and we know who the father is.
Oh, really? Well, I know who the father is, too. My lousy bastard husband. He just told me this morning.
You mean you just found out?
She says when this crime occurred, it forced the father and husband to admit that there was a child and it was his.
About an hour ago, pulled me up, told me everything. I knew he was still seeing that woman. I knew it.
Forgive me for being blunt, but did you have anything to do with the kidnapping of this baby?
What? No. Of course not. I just found out about this morning.
Becky is adamant she didn't learn of the baby's existence until after the kidnapping. Sergeant Sapp doesn't get the sense that Becky is lying.
Whether to eliminate somebody or to make them a person of interest.
Becky had no knowledge of the existence of a baby until the kidnapping had taken place, and Jim felt forced to tell her that a child existed and it was his. That fact alone eliminates Becky as a suspect.
Later that day, as officers continue scouring Colorado Springs for signs of baby Rachel, Sergeant Sapp and Kenda ace.
We're running out of time, people. What are the facts telling us?
Well, we've eliminated anyone that knew Cora the baby. And whoever this Sharon Sanchez is came prepared.
She comes here with a false identity. She obscures the license plates in her car so the numbers can't be read. This was a planned event.
There's still no ransom note.
I don't like this at all.
Stranger abductions are at a point to where we don't know what's going to happen. This child could be taken and killed and labeled on the market.
If a child is taken for the purposes of sale, there's less than a 1% chance it'll ever be found. My greatest fear in this case was that this was happening.
I was terrified that I would never, ever get to hold her again. Because I thought maybe she was being kidnapped to be sold. I knew that our chances of getting her back were very slim.
What becomes so serious about that is it's a speed event. They move them across borders, get them away from where we're going to be looking. So that's making my stomach turn over.
We've got all the transit hubs covered, but we can't check every car that's leaving the state of Colorado.
Yeah, our best bet is the public. I'll catch the kidnapper on the evening news.
We'll see if Cora can do an interview on air.
All right, let's get to work.
I think Joe called our assignment editor. So that kind of set everybody into motion. In this situation, truly a life hangs in the balance.
I was told by the police department that I needed to quickly as I could and as often as I could.
We have the mother, Cora Abbott, with us today, and she would like to say a few words. Sharon, if you can hear me out there, please, find it in your heart. It's not too late. Please, I just need my baby back.
It was difficult. I was still in shock, but I was able to plead with her that, she needs her family and to please not hurt her.
The public response to Cora Abbott's emotional appeal is swift, and within hours, detectives have their first bona fide lead.
We have a pizza delivery man who says he delivers a pizza to a Sharon Sanchez, the name given by our perpetrator. Oh, my. We have the kidnapping is absolutely on edge over this. Our first thought was that this child was taken to be sold on the black market.
All I could think of was, where was Rachel right now? Is she okay? Is she crying? Is she sleeping? Is she eating? I prayed all the time.
Now, Officer John Taylor is taking a statement from a pizza delivery man who claims to have come face to face.
You tell us.
Well, I saw on the news about that missing baby before my shift last night, and then on one of my deliveries, I went to this house.
1725, right?
Yeah.
I already wrote you a check here.
She seems nervous, and she wants him off her front porch quickly, and he therefore believes this child.
So she wrote you a check?
Yeah, and that's another thing. The name on the check was like Sanchez or Hanchez. It was something like that. It was definitely Hispanic.
Okay.
Kenda considers the viability of the claim.
You don't ever fault the public for wanting to try to help, but you have to make a decision when you're receiving thousands of tips. You have to decide what shows some promise and what doesn't.
Okay. Well, listen, thank you for coming in. You did the right. Come this way, I'll take you out.
You mind if I use your phone?
Yes, sir.
We will send 2 detectives over to the pizza lady to see what her story is.
When they arrive at the residence, detectives make another discovery that suggests this lead might be legitimate.
Hey, hold on. Look at this. Well, the report says the suspect got away in a silver car. Texas plates, though.
Could have changed them out.
It's possible.
Does that mean anything? Maybe. Go knock on the door, that's what means something. Who's in this house?
Good evening, ma'am. We're with the Colorado investigating the kidnapping of a baby.
Yes, I heard on the news. What does this have to do with me?
Is your name Sharon Sanchez?
No, it's Karen Chavez.
Ma'am, is there a baby in there right now?
Yes, my daughter. Would you like to see her?
If you'd be so kind, please.
All right, give me a second. It's my daughter, 8 months old.
So Karen Chavez introduces the officers to her child. So either this kid was able to age by eating pizza, or it's not the one.
Ma'am, we're sorry for the interruption. We just have to check every lead.
Understandable.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Good night.
With the clock still ticking and baby Rachel nowhere in sight, police
That's when information comes in. Information goes out. You gotta figure out what's right or I used to call it chaos with a referee.
It's been 48 hours since the abduction of Rachel White. Police are still continuing the search, but there has been no signs yet of the 4-week-old baby.
It became very difficult, and I was beginning to think we were never gonna see her.
Somebody lives next door to this person. Somebody works with the city, knows her, and has seen this baby. So who is that? I don't know.
As the days went by and he was working essentially 24 every day and getting angrier and more frustrated that nothing was breaking. There was no place to go.
I was very concerned that this may fall to homicide if we didn't reach.
You know, the longer the child is not found, the farther physically they can be taken away, the more hours they're literally in danger.
I remember asking God that if she's not okay, that if she's being harmed in any way, to take her. For her to suffer.
Then, on Monday, February 22nd, more than 72 hours after baby Rachel's abduction, there's finally a break in the case.
Sure, we got someone just came in?
Let me guess, the milkman this time.
No, this guy's legit. Air Force Major.
Really?
Yeah.
Send him in, please.
When you get a call that a major wants to talk to you about this particular kidnapping, that he may have pertinent information, you darn sure want to sit down and talk to him.
Major Bruce Jagger, U.S. Air Force. My commanding officer insisted I come see you guys right away.
Hey, Joe Kenda. That's Bob Sapp.
Nice to meet you, Major. Please have a seat. So what's on your mind?
Well, I may know something about that missing baby.
Really?
Oh, Major, you have my undivided attention. Please continue. So this major has arrived and announced that he has information that pertains to the kidnapping and disappearance.
So what can you tell us?
Well, there's a tradition in the Air Force. When a baby's being born,
Major Jager reports that when one of your enlisted men has a new baby, it is the custom for the commanding officer and his wife to offer their congratulations and bring a small gift for the child.
there's a captain under my command, Paul Renz.
Major! Here you go, sir. Take one.
Does this mean what I think it means?
You bet it does, sir. I'm a dad. My wife...
Well, congratulations.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
The major thought that was somewhat odd because he had never heard Captain Renz ever mention that his wife was pregnant.
So yesterday, Sunday, my wife and I went to Captain Renz's home, to honor their tradition and to see the baby, of course.
So Major Jagger and his wife showed up unannounced.
Major? Is everything okay?
By and see the new recruit.
Can't let her into this world without an Air Force welcome.
Thank you both so much. Won't you come in?
What is it, Paul?
Marissa, this is my supervisor, Major Jagger, and his wife.
Hi, I'm Janet.
Hi, what can we do for you?
Well, I was just telling your husband here we came by to see the baby and we wanted to greet our newest Air Force family member.
Well, she's not. She's asleep.
Another as to why the baby can't be seen.
Oh, come on. We drove all this way.
Well,
Of course you can see her, Major. Please, come on in.
His wife was very strange. She was reluctant to let us in. Then we saw the baby, and that's what brought me here to you guys.
Now this really piques my interest.
So what was it about this baby that set you off?
She's beautiful.
You're gonna wake her up.
Baby.
Yeah, you're gonna wake her up. You're gonna wake her up.
She's so pretty.
Captain. It was wonderful to meet your wife and daughter.
Thank you, sir. Ma'am, it was a pleasure.
After Major Jagger and his wife leave the house, she makes a startling observation.
Told you that is not a newborn baby.
She says that baby in that crib was not born on Friday. This is Sunday. That baby would be 3 days old, and that baby's not 3 days old. It's much older than that.
Well, I thought that was impossible. We got home, we saw the news, and saw that a baby had been kidnapped, and that's what brought me here to you guys.
Do you have an address for the Renzes?
Yeah, of course.
Sergeants Kenda and Sapp waste no time in investigating this promising tip.
They have a 2-car garage, and on the left side is a small silver car with Texas plates with the numbers covered with mud. Wow.
It all adds up. And just now we've got something.
Excuse me, Captain Renz?
Yes?
We're here to see you and your wife. Is she home?
What's this about?
May we come in? Please get your wife.
Sure. You wait right here. I'll go get my wife.
Looking at Marissa Renz, investigators get the feeling they may have finally found baby Rachel's kidnapper.
She's a perfect match to the composite drawing. She is a nervous wreck. Is it the person who claimed to be Sharon Sanchez? Marissa Renz looks as if she could be a photograph of the drawing. We say to her, so you had a baby on Friday. Where'd you
Rose Community Hospital.
And who delivered her?
Dr. Cohen.
Do you have a birth certificate?
Of course I do.
Can we see it?
This is ridiculous. Why? I don't want to see my baby's birth certificate.
Please.
The birthday is the 19th and 41 in the morning.
It was an authentic piece of paper, but it wasn't a birth certificate. I got 4 kids. I know what birth certificates look like. It just didn't add up.
This whole thing's forged.
What are you talking about?
We want to see the baby.
No, she's sleeping.
That wasn't a request, man. Get the baby. Now.
We're not gonna go unless we're not gonna go unless we end up arresting somebody for this crime in that home.
Let me see her.
You're gonna wake her up.
I need to see her now.
When I looked at the child, I knew right then it was older than what a newborn would be. It didn't have the typical Band-Aid over the navel part.
Hey, Bill, Storm's gone.
Where'd you get this baby?
She's my baby.
Well, this is Rachel White. She's going home to her mother.
She didn't put up a big fight. My opinion.
No.
Well, Captain Renz was dumbfounded, and you guys are trying to say that this baby is not our baby?
This is crazy.
He actually seems confused. You think?
They didn't know? Let's see what he says.
Police take Marissa and Paul Renz downtown and quickly notify Cora Abbott that they found her baby girl.
I was in the car driving to Back then, we didn't have cell phones, so I had a pager.
They found her.
But it's kind of like getting a text. You don't get any inflection. So at first I was excited. And then I was fearful because I was like, oh my gosh, she didn't say. And then I got another page right away from the police saying something to the effect of, "Come down right away, we have Rachel." And then I knew at that point that she was okay. And turned around and went straight to the police department.
20 minutes later, Cora is reunited with a daughter she feared she'd never see again.
That was Sergeant Sapp. He was just walking towards me, and he had her in his arms. And he just handed her to me. And everybody was crying and cheering. I couldn't believe at that moment that I was standing there holding her. It seemed so...
It was a very touching moment when Cora let out a shriek and said, "That's my baby, that's my little girl." Yes, it is. And here you go.
But while mother and daughter have been reunited, there are still several unanswered questions surrounding the case.
Marissa Renz will be charged with kidnapping, but
What is going on here? Why have you taken my baby?
No, Paul, it's not your baby. It's Rachel White.
Impossible. My wife was pregnant. I'm telling you the truth. Why are you trying to take my daughter away?
Paul, it was a fraud. All of it. We checked with the hospital. Marissa didn't give birth.
You spoke with Dr. Cohen?
He'd neither seen or heard of your wife before.
You know, for most of the pregnancy, she wouldn't let me see her.
does he know and doesn't want to believe? Is he a criminal? Or is he just a fool? That's the issue.
I could swear at first she was starting the show. A few months in, she wouldn't let me see her naked. She would always make excuses.
So no sex?
No, nothing.
She explained to him pretty early on in the pregnancy that they could no longer have sex. It wasn't.
I love you.
I want to feel my baby kick.
Stop it. Don't touch me. No. I told you it hurts. It's very sensitive.
She would get really angry with him and tell him to stop that. She didn't want him feeling her belly.
Things hadn't really been that good between us, so I didn't want to push her. Happy. So I kept quiet.
He told his story. Was it believable? Not particularly. But could it be true? Yeah, it could be true. Maybe he's just odd.
With Paul's culpability still in question, detectives decide it's time to speak to Marissa.
So, Marissa, our concern is with your husband. We need to know, did he help you do this?
No. It was all me. I did it by myself.
At the time when she said that my husband knew anything about this, the question is, how did he not know?
I don't see how that's possible.
Well, at first I really was pregnant. Until my second trimester.
She goes on to say she lost the baby and decided she was unwilling to tell her husband.
And then she went through this elaborate story. I put pillows under me. I said, well, would you go out? Yeah, but I always had a pill or something to show that I would appear to be pregnant.
Look, Marissa, I want to know why. Why did you do this?
I just couldn't see any other way. My marriage was on the rocks, and after I got pregnant, everything was so much better. So, after the miscarriage, I just couldn't go back to how things were.
According to Marissa, as the end of her would-be pregnancy approached, she was faced with a choice: come clean to her husband, or find a baby she could pass off as her own.
She is reading newspaper ads, asking for child care people. Her difficulty, she tells us, is that they're too old.
That is until Marissa came across Cora Abbott's ad, and her twisted plan was born.
She obscures the numbers on her license plates with mud. She creates a false identity.
Hi.
Hi, Sharon.
Yes, Sharon Sanchez. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
And she responds for an interview at the home.
Marissa says that once she was face to face with the baby,
scared. I didn't think I could do it, but then it was like a miracle.
She wasn't going to take the child, but when the phone rang, the opportunity presented itself. She took it.
It was as if God put her in my hands.
No, God didn't put it there, Marissa. You did.
Marissa claims that once Rachel's abduction was complete, there was one more person to pull into her tangled web.
Hello?
Hey, Paul? I just came back from the hospital. I had the baby. It's a girl.
I'll be there as soon as I can.
He apparently is not that confused by this. Most people go to the store on a Friday morning. You go have a baby and come home with it? And I'm finding about this now? That would be my reaction if I were Captain Renz.
Okay. I love you so much.
I love you too.
She admits to all of it. She admits to all of it. She planned it, she carried it out, she has this baby, and she had no intention of ever returning the child, ever.
Marissa Renz's guilt is still aren't sure if her husband Paul was truly as innocent as he claimed.
Being stupid is not against the law, but leaving your wife is also not a criminal act, even when her story is unbelievable.
My belief is that he was aware of it, but we could not establish that for sure.
We didn't think we had enough to prove anything against him. And the ultimate result in a courtroom was he was found not guilty.
Marissa Renz pleads guilty to second-degree kidnapping, but the judge decides she won't spend any time behind bars.
I thought it was a joke. She got off with, I guess it was a claim of mental insanity.
Marissa Renz was granted probation and was confined in a mental institution for 1 year, a very, very limited offense.
Rachel today is a very beautiful, strong woman, and I'm so proud of her. She's come a long way with her life. She's gone through college, she's married, she's happy. I don't know that I could have asked anything more from her.
Homicide cannot be undone. The person has died. They're not returning. We were able to provide Cora with actual closure. Physical closure. What a rare moment. Closure doesn't exist in my world. One time and one time only. It did.
A young mother found dead in a cemetery.
She'd been stabbed 25 times.
The killer saw Cynthia McLuhan as this object to play with by posing her.
For 3 years, police are baffled.
The investigation continues until we find out who's responsible.
It was a total mystery.
Until Sergeant Joe Kenda realizes this case goes much deeper than he'd ever imagined.
And all the experience of all the people in this room have never seen this before. Could this be the rarest of criminals? A savagely evil serial killer. Comes cold. It's the ultimate frustration. You are searching for a shadow, a ghost. But do we surrender? Absolutely not.
It's getting late, and the Uinta Gardens shopping center is looking like a ghost town. The pharmacy is the last store to lock up.
The store was being closed at 9:45 by the manager, Joe, and Herlinda, who was one of the cashiers.
Is that Cynthia's car?
Looks like it.
Cynthia worked the cosmetic counter.
What's she still doing here?
Immediately, this is bad because she checked out 45 minutes before.
The lights were on and the car was running.
Cynthia?
And the windshield had some ice scraped off.
It was kind of strange. Why would she leave her car just sitting there running?
Cynthia!
None of it made any sense at all. The worst thing you could possibly think comes to your mind.
Cynthia!
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 3 years later, patrol. Sergeant Joe Kenda has recently returned to Homicide. But this time, not as a detective.
I returned to Homicide as a supervisor. As the boss, you always have feelings about what you'd like to do to improve things, to change things. So I began reviewing unsolved missing persons cases and unsolved homicide cases to determine if there was any possibility they could now be
Hey, Beverly, I need to schedule a meeting. Can you contact everyone in the field and have them here by 12 o'clock sharp? Thanks. Bye. All right, gentlemen, listen up. You guys have done one hell of a job last year closing cases.
Kenda took over as a sergeant in the Detective Bureau. We welcomed his involvement. He was smart, well-educated, very charismatic.
I want to revisit some of the cold cases that we let slip through. The question is, which ones do we look at? Now, I've got a few thoughts, but I want to hear your ideas.
With my team of homicide detectives, I wanted some unit cohesion, and I was interested in what they thought about everything. Many heads are better than one.
How about you, Lou? Any ideas?
Detective, unlike any other.
Well, I didn't work it, but how about Cynthia McLuhan? She went missing in 82.
The Cynthia McLuhan case was one we all really wanted to solve.
All right, let's look at the case file.
Though none of Kenda's detectives personally worked the case, they know enough to bring him up to speed.
Cynthia McLuhan. She was 22 years old when she found her abandoned vehicle in the parking lot where she worked.
No evidence in the car, and no witnesses.
Okay, then. Who'd they talk to first?
The family.
Detectives went to the home of Cynthia's mom.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. Which is where Cynthia's living with her daughter, Stacy. And Cynthia's friend, Mary, is there also.
Very, very shocking, but we need to know more about your daughter if we're going to find her.
Well, Cynthia and Stacy moved in with me recently because money's been a little tight. Cynthia works 2 jobs, and I help out and watch Stacy.
Is she aware of what's going on?
No, not really. She keeps asking for her mama, but I don't know what to say. I keep telling her she'll be home soon.
Cynthia did everything she did for her. Her relationship with her daughter was something that was never separable.
What we need to find out is if there was anyone in Cynthia's life who would want to harm her.
The next step would be to determine who does Cynthia associate with. People don't get abducted, generally, by a stranger.
I don't know.
It was a total mystery. I mean, no idea what had happened. Have enemies. Can't say that there was really anybody that disliked her.
What about Stacy's father? Where is he?
He and Cynthia were married for a short time, but things didn't work out.
They're curious about someone that had a motive to do her harm, and the first and obvious choice is the ex-husband.
But he lives in Arizona.
Even at the first moment of disappearance, there was never a thought of him doing anything like that.
In Arizona, and he provides an alibi the day she goes missing. He's not part of this.
How about a boyfriend? Was Cynthia seeing anyone that you know of?
Well, recently she's been seeing a guy named Dave.
Dave.
Winfield. Dave Winfield.
And, of course, the detectives are immediately interested in David Winfield. Who is he? Did they end their relationship badly?
What do you know about Dave?
I don't know of any issues during the relationship, but I know that Dave was pretty heartbroken when she ended things.
Yeah, that's true. Good job.
What letter is this?
No, you don't know?
Yeah, sure you do. That's a J. I'll get it. Hello?
Hi, it's me. Listen, talk. I love you. If we could just give it another try.
Dave, we've talked about this, okay?
Cynthia.
No,
you don't
Dave.
understand.
I'm sorry, I gotta go.
Wait.
He would do anything to get her back.
There was concern on the mother's part that the ex-boyfriend might have tried her into accepting their relationship and going back the way it was.
At that point, detectives focused their attention on 34-year-old Dave Winfield as Cynthia's possible abductor.
Detectives did some digging. They found out that Dave secretly spent some time at the hide-and-seek.
At the time, the hide-and-seek lounge was the largest homosexual bar between the Mississippi River and the West Coast.
That detective on the case?
So apparently he liked both men and women. I'm sure he didn't want people to know about that.
Right.
In the modern day, homosexuality is universally accepted for the most part. In the 1980s, it was a secret world.
In Colorado Springs, having a gay affair was particularly scandalous. Your job, if you were in the military, it could get you discharged. I mean, the ramifications were huge.
The speculation might have been that Cynthia somehow discovered this, and Dave Winfield was now trying to suppress that information from coming out.
And once Dave found out that we were asking around town about him,
Did you have anything to do with the disappearance of Cynthia?
I care a lot for Cynthia. I'd never do anything to hurt her.
Did she have any issues with your little trips down to the hide-and-seek lounge?
What? How do you know about that?
Look, Mr. Winfield, we're not interested in your private life. We're just trying to figure out, perhaps, would that be a problem for Cynthia if she was aware of that?
No, Cynthia never knew about that. Even if she did, she wouldn't tell anyone.
So, it gives you an insight on Cynthia. She just seemed to be a nice, trustworthy woman.
You get an alibi?
yeah, it checked out.
So Winfield is out. No opportunity.
Okay, so what's next?
It turns out that more evidence surfaced tonight that...
Just 2 hours after Cynthia McLuhan vanished from work, a sinister clue was discovered at a nearby motel.
In doing his nightly rounds, a security guard for one of the motels
What the hell?
came across some clothing outside of one of the motel rooms.
The clothing is just dropped, dumped in a pile. And under there are credit cards, there is some money. And it also contains Cynthia McLuhan's Colorado driver's license.
The motel had no record of Cynthia checking in, and when the items were turned in to police, they quickly caught the attention of detectives.
Was the clothing hers?
They matched the description, but not all of her clothes have been accounted for.
What do you mean?
Her bra and panties were missing.
The clothing that's missing are intimate apparel, so it suggests there may have been some sexual involvement.
When there's evidence of abduction and sexual assault, the end result is never good.
The room where the clothes were found outside of, did we look into who checked into it?
We did. Turns out...
And nothing materialized from there. Detectives have been all over the area for weeks. Didn't turn up any new leads.
When someone goes missing, the more time that passes by, the more difficult things become. You have no place to go and nowhere to find your victim until they are found by someone.
It was a bone-chilling afternoon. McLuhan disappeared from her workplace.
A 17-year-old named Robert Stogner was jogging through a cemetery in the west side of Colorado Springs.
As Robert went through Fairview Cemetery, he noticed something looked odd. And in fact, as he got closer,
this is no longer a missing persons case. Somebody took her and killed her. We're investigating the disappearance of 22-year-old Cynthia McLuhan. She has been missing for 42 days when her body has been discovered in Fairview Cemetery.
Because it was so cold outside, her body was well preserved.
In cold temperatures, aside from the whiteness of the skin, they were alive.
It was a brutal scene.
I responded to the cemetery. Cynthia's body was covered with blood. She'd been stabbed numerous times. She was completely naked except for her shoes and her socks.
There are definite signs of sexual assault.
There is rape. There is murder.
Her bra and panties are missing from the pile of clothes at the motel.
Killer probably kept them for himself.
It's often thought that when the killer takes one of the possessions of the victim, that it's a trophy. It can be a source of pride when they remember that they were able to subdue another human being.
Her body's just positioned up.
She's kind of sitting down but bent forward. A very unnatural position. It's not one that would look comfortable. Out of all the homicides I've worked, I don't remember ever coming across a body position just this way.
Some sexual criminals will pose the remains and stand back and admire them for a period of time. It sounds profoundly sick because it is.
This guy didn't hold anything back, did he?
She had been stabbed 20...
Get some photos.
So do you know if the sexual assault happened in the cemetery or is it just a dumping ground?
Well, it's possible. We didn't see any drag marks or any kind of blood trails.
This is a remote cemetery with very little foot traffic, which is precisely why Cynthia's killer brought her there. The ghost, the shadow, shows up in that parking lot, forcibly puts her in his car, drives to the cemetery, raped her, and immediately killed her in the same spot. And then drove off with her clothing and dumped it in this motel in the central downtown.
Canvas of the area turn up anything?
Sort of. We came across a guy who said he saw a dark-colored pickup truck leave the cemetery a few weeks before. See if we could find a similar pickup truck.
One of the people that we find who would own that pickup truck is a Richie Hayden. He lived 2.5 blocks from the Fairview Cemetery.
This guy said he was at the cemetery, but he was there because of the great view at Pikes Peak. Sounds a little suspicious, but we couldn't find anything that ties him to Cynthia.
There's nothing about him that alarms them. He has an explanation.
Nothing.
Case went cold.
They believed it was someone connected to her that hated her for whatever reason, but they could never determine that anybody she'd ever known hated her for any reason at all. So the case sort of dies.
After the notification of finding Cynthia and still no leads, it just went on of no information or nothing being said about it. Very, very difficult.
Okay then. It's time to heat this thing back up.
We all agree that Cynthia McLuhan is an innocent victim. No doubt about it. That inspires us.
John, Lou, I want you to take the lead on this one, but we're all going to be working it with you.
This case had a lot of emotional appeal. Personally, this was one I really wanted to take on.
Still remains that it's someone she knew. The reason that's true is stranger crimes are rare. They represent less than 5% of all murders.
The first thing we need to do is re-interview the original witnesses and revisit the old leads, starting with the guy with the dark truck. What's his name?
Richie Hayden.
Time has a way of loosening tongues, and every experienced policeman knows it.
All right, let's go.
I'm thinking we should start with this guy first because he's got a record a mile long, and we're looking for...
Hey.
So Anderson is assigned a lead about Richie Hayden.
Man, Richie Hayden has a sexual assault conviction. It's not all. Got his employment history. Take a guess at where he worked as a dishwasher.
I'll be damned.
Lo and behold, what does he find? During the time of the crime, he worked at the motel where the clothing was discovered. You don't have to be a mathematician to know that 2 + 2 = 4. So, Mr. Hayden, we need to have an up-close and personal with you again. We have reopened the Cynthia McLuhan homicide as a cold case during the course of that individual who has some very interesting parts to his life that makes him emerge as a suspect.
Kenda and his team would like to speak with 30-year-old Richie Hayden, but he no longer lives by Fairview Cemetery. In fact, he's now on parole in Wyoming.
So you're saying I'm gonna have to send you to Wyoming?
Maybe before we do that, we see if he's worth our time.
We knew from Cynthia's autopsy, sexually assaulted. Her killer left behind evidence of his own blood type. So we can compare that with the blood type of a potential suspect and eliminate certain people.
The next step in terms of this individual, Mr. Hayden, is to determine what is his blood type.
Why don't you check with the lab and let me know what you find out?
Sure.
So Detective Anderson makes a call to the laboratory and says, what do you know about this guy? Tell me about his blood. That evidence has already been obtained because of the count of sexual assault.
Alright, stick out your arm, make a fist.
And as it turns out, his blood type is different than that of the perpetrator of this crime. So despite his truck, despite his criminal record, despite his employment at the hotel, it's not him.
Without a sus team begin retracing old steps in hopes of sprouting a new lead.
And one thing we wanted to do was to go back and talk to Cynthia's close friends at the time. One of those was Mary Donito. She had been at Nancy's house, the mother's house.
Her and Cynthia were best friends.
I assumed that the investigation was over.
No, ma'am. The investigation continues until we find out who's responsible.
Mary, we're wondering if you might mention when Cynthia first went missing.
Well, there is something I probably should have said a long time ago.
Well, if it's something that might help us find Cynthia's killer, I'm sure she would want us to know.
There was a guy that Cynthia was dating that nobody knew about.
Why was it a secret?
He was married.
Really? Now that's interesting.
I should have said something sooner. I didn't want to say anything in front of Cynthia's mom, and at that point we were hoping she was still alive.
Mary, it's okay.
You got to keep in mind, this was her good friend, and so I understand why she didn't do it at that point.
So who is this guy?
She had a second job, and he worked with her there.
You finding everything okay?
I am, but do you have any socks? Cynthia and Steve Carlton met because he was working as a security guard.
According to Mary, he had told Cynthia that he was getting a divorce. Turned out that wasn't the case.
Cynthia, I'm sorry. All right, I should have told you sooner.
Piece of now I'm the one who looks like the bad guy. Maybe I should just call your wife and see how she feels about all of this.
Don't you dare, Cynthia!
Screw you!
Sometimes married men want to protect their wife from ever finding out. Murder is one way to do it.
Do you know if Steve still works at the same place?
Not that I know of. I haven't seen him in a while. I just know he was in the Army.
We've been very helpful. Thank you for being honest with us. We'll let ourselves out.
After learning of Steve Carlton, investigators reach out to Fort Carson to see if he has shown up on their radar.
Active military have their own police, called the CID, which stands for Criminal Investigation Division. They investigate criminal matters involving active duty military.
Sergeant Steve Carlton. Says in 82 he put in a transfer for South Korea.
Really? And what month was that?
Be December.
That was shortly after Cynthia's murder. So our question was he trying to distance himself from this murder?
Was his request granted?
No, it was denied due to poor performance on his part. He's been under investigation multiple times.
And what did he do?
Turns out this guy is accused of making obscene phone calls to various women on the base. Further, there's been someone going into the ladies' locker rooms on the post and stealing their underwear. And the military police believe it's this guy.
That's bizarre.
Yeah, you could say that.
We're going to need to speak with Mr. Carlton as soon as possible.
Mr. Carlton now emerges. Not only does he have a relationship with our victim, but now we have knowledge that he's potentially involved in sex crimes in the military. That adds up to suspect. So here we have a married man who is dating Cynthia McLuhan. He's currently under investigation for 2 minor sexual offenses. So let's go find Mr. Carlton and see what he has to say.
Sergeant Carlton, thanks for coming to talk to us.
What's this about?
Cynthia McLuhan.
Cynthia? Did you guys find the guy that killed her?
We were told you were having a relationship with her. Is that true?
Yeah.
Mr. Carlton says they became friends, they began to socialize after work on a few occasions, and then they engaged in an extramarital affair.
But we ended it a few weeks before she went missing.
Whose idea was that?
Mine.
Was Cynthia upset about that?
No. I mean, we both knew what we were doing was wrong.
He says he finally decided to break it off because he was afraid.
You think I killed Cynthia?
We didn't say that. But you were having a secret relationship with her. And we were also made aware of some of the questionable things you did in the past.
Like what?
Some inappropriate acts over at Fort Carson.
Oh, that's garbage. I didn't do any of that stuff.
He vehemently denies both of these crimes. I didn't do it. I never called anybody. I've never been in that.
Cynthia. I didn't have any reason to want to harm her. Once when I found out that she was murdered, I didn't know. She was a good person. I swear on my life, I didn't kill Cynthia. Steve Carlton claimed he really cared for her, that he wouldn't have killed her. He seemed very believable.
All right. For now.
He is just somebody that we thought was interesting, and we've just lost interest in him.
With yet another suspect out of the running, the investigation begins to lose steam.
Where are we now in this case? Why can't we find a legitimate suspect who has a relationship with our victim?
Same dead end we hit 3 years ago.
Kenda wonders, perhaps instead of focusing on the victim, what about the crime itself?
In this case, think about it. Abduction from a parking lot, rape, extreme knife violence, the way you position the body. I mean, it all seems pretty peculiar.
Sexual criminals commit a crime in precisely the same way on every occasion. These are not isolated incidents. These people tend to commit and reoffend all the time. It's what they do. Their appetite in...
Kid, are you saying you think this is a serial killer?
Well, that's certainly a possibility. But that would mean he's done this before, or at least in the 3 years since. Let me ask you this. Have either of you been involved in a murder like this before? Because I sure haven't. Me?
What if our guy doesn't have a relationship with our victim? What if our man is a transient? He is a tourist and then he's gone again. And he is elsewhere doing the same thing. We've never considered it.
Which means if we're going to catch this guy, we're going to need to start looking at similar cases outside of Colorado. Let's go. All right, listen up.
Kenda and his team expand their search to a national scale.
So we put together a broadcast to all law enforcement agencies in the U.S. and asking for similar offenses or similar MOs by perpetrators in their jurisdiction, from huge departments to tiny ones. The national broadcast is out for a while, and we're not getting much results.
Hey, Kenda, I think I've got something here.
But all of a sudden, we do.
It's from Florida.
From a homicide detective in St. Petersburg, Florida, mentioning a James Lamar Rhodes.
The guy's 26 years old. It says here he's raped and attempted murder of 4 different girls with a knife. He's also suspected of 2 full-blown murders. Sound familiar?
Rhodes had abducted 4 young girls, and one of them sounded remarkably similar to Cynthia's.
In June of 1984, a 17-year-old girl who worked at an ice cream shop went outside end of her shift.
Hey, you want to go for a jog?
And a man approached her.
Come on. What are you doing? Let me go.
I wouldn't say a word if I were you.
The man then took her to a secluded place, proceeded to rape her and stab her repeatedly. James Rhodes left her for dead. But she did not die.
Somehow she survived and was able to identify Rose as a suspect, and the physical evidence where the bastard was December 82. Colorado Springs.
He was living in Colorado Springs for approximately 60 days during the time frame that the Cynthia McLuhan case occurred.
So how do we find this guy?
Well, he's currently in Florida prison. He's serving 6 consecutive life sentences for attempted murder.
Looks like we need to go to Florida.
When somebody gives you a so good that fit perfectly with what you're doing, you can feel it. This is him. There is no doubt in anyone's mind that James Lamar Rhodes is our target. We need to go to Florida and have him tell us that.
Well, the only way to get this sicko is to get a confession from him.
You know, I'm game.
I selected Detective Smith because Smith had a gift he was I have ever seen. It was almost as if Lou Smith could walk into a field full of cows, and in 15 minutes they'll be offering him free milk.
All right. We need to learn as much as we can about him. Anderson, I want you to lead the research on this guy.
You got it. Let's do this.
It's important when a detective sits down with a suspect that you're armed with as much information as you can.
While Smith is en route to Florida, Kenda's team is preparing background.
Can you hang on a second? So what do you got from Anderson?
This guy definitely had his issues. We pulled his psychological profile from the state of Florida. It seems he grew up in a dysfunctional family.
Can I call you back? Thanks. Bye.
James Rhodes suffered a great deal of trauma in his growing up. Watching his father beat his mother, he getting beaten up by his mother. It was a family full of...
So apparently he had a pretty tumultuous relationship with his mother.
Where the hell are you, James?
As James Rhodes reports, his mother was a brutal woman.
I'm warning you. Get your ass over here.
She would hit him mercilessly and in fact encouraged him in many ways to embrace violence.
It seemed he could have harbored hate for women that made...
He was so filled with hate for his mother. He left home when he was 14, and he literally became a drifter.
Looks like Schmidt's gonna have his hands full with this guy.
I'd say.
The following day, Smith arrives at Florida's Cross City Correctional Center to speak with their #1 suspect.
This is Smith's opportunity to work his magic, and he is magical.
Mr. Rhodes, I'd like to thank you for having this meeting with me. I'm Detective Smith.
I understand you want to talk about a case?
Well, actually, James, I really want to talk about you. You see, James, I'm in Colorado a few years back.
No particular reason. I struggled to find work in Texas, so I always loved the mountains. I headed over to Colorado Springs and found a job as a roofer.
I did a little carpentry myself.
Yeah?
Yeah, I was not an expert, but, I did some stuff around the house. Made me feel like a man. Like I was really in control.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Smith knew how to establish rapport with Rhodes. In a very short period of time, they were chatting as if they were lifelong friends.
James, you probably saw a lot of different places when you were a kid, right? Well, I bet that was hard, having to always be responsible for yourself.
You wouldn't know the half of it.
What do you mean?
Wouldn't believe some of the things I've done in the places I've been. Hell, I'd write a book about it if they wouldn't throw me in the electric chair.
All serial killers are narcissists. They like attention. And I think if it were possible, every psychopathic killer would probably write a book. Because they would then have a chance to brag about what they did.
And what would you write about during your stay up there in Colorado?
Look, I'd tell you, but I don't want them to fry me.
What if I told you that they won't? The DA says he'll take the death penalty off the table.
All right, I'll tell you what happened.
No. I want you to show me.
Brought you back to Colorado, and I want you to walk me through this. I want you to show me what you did.
All right. What the hell?
Not 24 hours later, Kenda picks up Smith and Rhodes at the airport, and they set out on their guided tour of murder.
When James Rhodes came back to Colorado, he wanted to show off. He was and show how well he did what he did.
It was right here. I saw her leaving work. Something just came over me.
You didn't know her?
I'd never seen her before.
She was scraping her windows on her...
Hey.
And he walked up behind her.
Can I help you?
Oh, no, I got it, thanks.
Come on, let me help you.
No, it's fine.
Get in the car! Shut up! Come back! Come back!
He said he threw her in his car.
Get in the car! Shut up!
Now, Cynthia McLuhan weighed 107 pounds. He could easily take physical control of her.
Let's go.
He said he wound up in a cemetery, a secluded area.
Right over here. This is where it was. I took out the knife and I told her to get on the ground.
Please don't kill me.
Get on the ground.
I will do anything.
Get on me. He raped her. Then he said she tried to grab the knife, and it infuriated him. He said, my arm was just flying with that knife. He said, I normally don't stab people. I don't know why I stabbed her so many. 25 times, you say? God, that's really nuts, isn't it? Yes, James, it really is nuts. Just like you.
frankly, I think he was enjoying himself so much he couldn't stop. He saw Cynthia McLuhan as this object to play with, and it seems quite possible he continued his play with her by posing her.
He left her. He had her clothing in the car, and he thought he had to get rid of that. And dumps the clothing in the purse.
What'd you do with her bra and panties?
I don't remember.
I find that hard to believe.
He has a good memory, and yet he says he doesn't remember certain things, and that's nonsense. He does remember.
All right, let's go.
But for whatever reason, he doesn't want to say it.
The state of Colorado convicts James Rhodes of first-degree murder and sentences him to life in prison. But he won't be serving.
Florida has first dibs on this guy, so he goes back to Florida to serve 6 consecutive life terms. And if he survives that, he comes to Colorado to serve yet another one.
Although he's only been convicted of attempted murder in Florida, James Rhodes is suspected of killing up to 10 other young women. However, none of those cases have been proven.
One of the major misconceptions about serial killers is that they are crazy. They are not crazy. Their impulses seem to reign freely in a way that's more consistent with a wild animal than a human being.
He was just a monster. How can somebody do the awful things that he did and leave a little girl without her mother?
Cynthia's little girl is now grown. She's had 2 daughters, and if my sister's ecstatic being able to see her 2 grandchildren, still heartbroken because she's not here.
Initially, everyone believed it was someone that Cynthia knew, because that's usually the case. But the reality was that she, unfortunately, breathed the snake, a serial killer.
A husband and father tragically takes his own life.
The victim still had a .22 caliber revolver in his hands.
Maybe he just had enough of the pain, you know?
But an unexpected confession reveals there's much more to the story.
No, this is not what I saw.
And it's up to Kenda and his team to uncover a cache of secrets and lies.
I knew that
she burns through that $10,000 just in a few months.
Is this something that could push somebody over their edge to commit murder? You bet it is.
families appear a certain way to casual acquaintances. They were the nicest people. They were quiet, but you never, ever know a private home when the doors are closed and the lights are out.
It's a busy summer night for Colorado Springs. EMTs Mark McDonald and Mark Bruning are responding to a call at a residence near Palmer Park on the city's east side.
Once we got there at the PD, we're already on scene, and so our part of our job is to go in and actually assess the patient.
Where's the patient? He's in the master bedroom.
All right. It's kind of surreal, to tell you the truth, because you're thrown immediately into this chaotic scene.
Up here.
When we first walked into the room, there was a gentleman with a obvious gunshot wound.
Everything's gonna be okay.
But it was pretty well obvious at that time that this gentleman was deceased.
Several miles away, Sergeant Joe Kenda is already waist deep in an unrelated investigation.
Did the suspect make a statement?
No, not yet. But he had a bloody knife on him. I think it's a murder weapon.
It's after 2 o'clock in the morning, and I'm at the scene of a homicide. Crime never sleeps, crime never takes a day off, and everybody seems to like the cover.
Great.
Dispatch to 4 Palmer.
Go for 4-1.
We have a report of a shooting near Palmer Park. First responders are saying they believe it's self-inflicted.
The initial report was this is probably a suicide, and I decided to remain at my current crime scene and send one of my detectives and report back to me.
Within the hour, Kenda has dispatched one of his detectives to the residence near Palmer Park.
Good evening, Detective. 39-year-old male, single gunshot wound to the head. Appears to be self-inflicted.
Victim is now disconnected.
They had identified him as an individual named Charlie Tuttle, who actually worked for the city of Colorado Springs in the electric division.
Before I met Charlie, he was a staff sergeant in the Air Force, and he worked in electronics, repairing and calibrating flight simulators. He was always perceived as a trustworthy person.
It's like the wife, stepdaughter, and a neighbor discovered him in the bedroom. We cut the neighbors loose. He didn't know anything.
Okay. And where's the body?
Upstairs in the bedroom.
Lead the way.
In the master bedroom, Mr. Tuttle is laying face down on the bed.
The family found him like this?
Yes, sir.
On initial examination of the scene, detectives noted that, in fact, the victim still had a .22 caliber in his hands.
And there was the back of the head, and there is no exit.
What an odd way to shoot yourself.
Most gun suicides, the person is sitting erect and the gun is fired into the temple. It's extremely uncommon to see someone lie on their stomachs and shoot themselves in the back of the
head. Anyone touch that shotgun?
No, it was positioned there when we arrived.
The shotgun had string wrapped around the trigger.
Is indicative of someone trying to rig a weapon so they can cause it to discharge by aiming. He rigs this gun and then apparently changes his mind. And decides to use a handgun instead.
As investigators examine the rest of the bedroom, evidence continues to line.
Looks like somebody kicked the door in.
This is the only entry into the room.
There's a shoe print on the door next to the door handle assembly.
Witnesses claim that they broke the door in after they heard the gunshot.
We have an individual who was depressed and actually locked himself in the bedroom, climbed into bed, and shot himself. That's a pretty good possibility at this point.
To confirm that possibility, investigators need to see if witnesses' stories lead to the same conclusion.
Well, let's go talk to the maybe they can tell us why.
They then speak to the wife of the victim, whose name is Jackie Tuttle. She's 42 years of age.
Mrs. Tuttle, I'm so sorry for your loss. Do you mind answering a few questions?
Jackie is kind of quiet, soft-spoken. She worked for a real estate company, and she had been married 10 years. He was actually her second husband.
Do you and Charlie have any kids together?
No. I have 2 grandchildren from my first marriage. My older daughter, Jennifer, she lives back in Texas with her father. And Sarah, she lives here with us, and she was here tonight.
She says the evening progressed in a normal manner, except for the fact that Charlie was drinking heavily during dinner.
Now, how much alcohol?
Oh, like 10 beers and some whiskey.
Jackie reports to the officers that her husband seemed to be very distressed after dinner and continued to drink and said he was going to bed.
So around midnight, Sarah and I went down and put a movie in downstairs. was when we heard the gunshot. I'm sorry. I can't breathe. I can't.
It's okay. Thank you.
And that's when she became so distressed and she could not continue conversing with the officers because of her emotional state.
Hoping to learn why Charlie was distressed, investigators turned to Jackie's daughter, 19-year-old Sarah Reynolds.
Excuse me, Sarah. Do you have a moment to answer a few questions?
They ask her to describe the events of the evening, separate from her mother, and she tells precisely the same story.
So after dinner, Charlie went to bed, and Mom and I watched a movie in the living room.
Please, baby.
And it was about 1:30 when she heard a loud
Charlie! We went upstairs, but his door was locked. We tried to force the door to open, but it wouldn't budge.
and her mother said, "Go get the neighbor, he can help us." And she did that.
The neighbor came over and kicked the door in, and that's when we found him on the bed.
I know this is difficult, Sarah, but can you think of any reason that Charlie may have wanted to end his life?
Yeah. He was just so different since the accident.
About a year earlier, he'd been in a very serious car accident.
Come here, honey. Come here, let me help you. Please, here, let's get this out of the way.
He was struck from behind by another car. It injured Charlie's pain in his neck and upper back.
His personality changed after that. He was so down about everything. Constantly called out of work.
He became more depressed. He drank more. Now, all of that put together certainly sounds like someone who may be willing to end their days.
After dinner, he was complaining that his neck hurt. Maybe he just had enough of the pain. You know?
Yeah. Once again, I am lost.
Hours later, Sergeant Kenda requests a status report on Charlie Tuttle's case.
We found it odd that he shot himself in the back of the head, but all of the evidence that we found at the scene is consistent with suicide.
So what's the coroner think?
Oh, here's the report.
By law, the coroner determines the method of death and the manner. The coroner's office is fully informed of the details about Charlie's recent history and his motor vehicle accident and his depression, and the coroner rules it as a suicide, and the matter is closed, or so everyone thought.
6 months later, an unexpected visitor shows up at CSPD.
Sarah Reynolds? All right, have a seat. Someone will be with you in just a moment.
Thank you.
When someone comes into police headquarters and asks to speak to someone in a supervisor, which in that case was me.
I am Sergeant Kenda. Is there something I can help you with?
She had a pretty forlorn look on her face and was somewhat quiet.
The body language suggests that maybe she just wants to leave and is sorry she came in here.
It's all right. Anything you need to tell us, it'll be okay.
Well, my stepfather, Charlie Tuttle, to go in our house.
Okay. And she looked at me and she said, well, I told a story to the policeman about how my stepdad killed himself.
But I was lying.
Oh, my. Well, this is getting interesting. Charlie Tuttle is believed to have shot himself in the privacy of his locked bedroom. Now it's 6 months later, and the young lady has come forward to say she lied, that none of what she said to the police was true.
Okay, why don't you just start from the beginning?
So, the night he died, I helped my mom make dinner.
Find me the parsley.
What's all this?
Something special for Charlie.
Jackie had actually picked up a bottle of Crown Royal whiskey, some cigars, and a fishing magazine.
Wow, Mom.
Right?
And Sarah thought that was kind of unusual because Jackie and Charlie had been arguing quite a bit lately.
And she suspected the marriage was coming to an end.
I thought it was her way of showing him she still loved him and wanted to make things work. Came home, he was in such a good mood.
Oh, wow. It's not my birthday.
No?
Oh, are you making your famous meatballs?
She said he was quite surprised and happy to see them fixing a nice meal for dinner.
And when we sat down to dinner, Mom and Charlie were reminiscing about old times.
This looks great. Oh. Does the sauce taste funny to you?
No, I think it's fine.
I think the horseradish went bad.
He didn't care for the shrimp cocktail, but he certainly ate everything else and drank his beer as he normally did.
Could you pass me that garlic bread, please?
We had a really nice evening. And then Mom wanted to watch a movie. But Charlie said he's going to bed to read his fishing mag.
Do you remember what time that was?
No, I just remember the movie started and I must have totally passed out.
And that struck me. I passed out? Why did you pass out? Were you drinking?
No, I just remember feeling so tired all of a sudden. I couldn't keep my eyes open. I'm 30.
The house was quiet. The movie was on pause.
Her mother, Jackie, wasn't there, and so she's sitting there on the couch. And she heard this loud boom from upstairs.
Her mother is holding a green bath towel, and protruding from the bath towel is a gun.
Honey, I need you to stay calm, okay?
But what did you do?
Honey, I did it for his own good.
According to Sarah, she says, you know that Charlie's been in a lot of pain, and if anybody asked you, he did it to himself.
No, and put it in the basement. Naked.
And she puts the gun on the bed next to Charlie's hand, and then walks out and locks the door behind him and says, now go get the neighbor to force the door open. So I listened to Sarah's story. I said, well, Sarah, I must ask you the obvious question.
All right, but this was 6 months ago. Why you just break?
Scared. My mom threatened to kill me if I said anything.
But she told him that I'm coming in to tell the truth because I have so much guilt.
I can't sleep. I have nightmares about it.
Do you have any idea why your mother wanted to kill Charlie?
Yeah, she's greedy.
She said he had a $49,000 insurance policy, and she wanted that money.
And she got it too.
Perhaps in her mother's mind, she had 49.
So, you're going to reopen his case?
We're definitely going to look into it and keep in touch. I appreciate you coming in.
Thank you.
You must take people seriously when they tell you a story. Do you trust what they say? Of course not. Let's explore your story. So my first step is to go to the coroner's office. I inform the coroner of the new development, and the coroner agrees to review the report.
So I looked extremely unusual.
Indeed. So what do you think?
Well, I did notice one thing. The witnesses claimed that Mr. Tuttle had been drinking heavily, but that's not what we're seeing in his toxicology results.
The blood alcohol content of Charlie was 0.01. That is not even legally impaired, let alone drunk.
That is strange. Well, after looking through everything, are you still confident it's a suicide?
You know, there's nothing in the report that contradicts that he shot himself in the back of the head.
Yeah, it's very uncommon.
I vaguely remember there was something else I found fishy, but that was like 40 autopsies ago. I don't remember now. I'll read through my notes again and see if I can figure out what it is.
Oh, I appreciate it. Thanks, Doc.
With the coroner's report inconclusive, Kenda's gut tells him to keep digging.
Mr. Ware, I'm Sergeant Kenda. Thanks for meeting me.
Glad to help however I can.
So Joe took an unusual step, and that was to contact the funeral director who embalmed the body of Charlie.
He said, well, in my experience, I've seen over 100 gunshot wounds to the head from people who kill themselves.
There was something that just wasn't quite right about this one. I actually remember it quite well.
Let's see what we got here. What was the cause of death?
Suicide.
Really? If you put a gun to your head, it is extremely difficult to get a 90-degree contact. You're up, you're down, you're this way, that way, left and right. The result is the entrance wound itself is not round. It's shaped differently.
And when I looked at the hole on the inside of the skull, it was much larger, but still symmetrical. Most of the time you don't get it.
At that point in time, I was suspicious that this was in fact not a suicide, but he went on with the embalming anyway.
There's not much that surprises me in this business, but this one did.
Well, thank you. You've been very helpful.
So this evidence is adding up nicely to murder and not suicide. And with that, we decided to reopen the case.
Kenda and his team start by tracking down Charlie Tuttle's widow at her new home.
So we want to go see information other than just Sarah's allegations. I know the physical evidence says that Charlie didn't shoot himself.
Do you guys take anything in your coffee?
No, just black, thank you. I wouldn't mind some sugar if that's okay.
Sure.
The first thing we noticed is very sparse. Very little furniture, very neat, very clean.
Where are all the family photos?
There are no pictures of her husband.
It is very odd to have a personal home that contains no evidence of memorabilia of your family. So there's something already quite odd about Jackie.
So, what do you guys want to talk about?
Well, your daughter Sarah stopped at the precinct.
She did? Why?
We tell her. Your daughter came to report that you killed your husband and swore her to secrecy.
She's lying.
Now, Mrs. Tuttle, why would your daughter make up a story like that?
It's obvious. She wants more money.
And we looked at her and we said, excuse me, what do you mean by more money? So we're investigating this suicide of Charlie Tuttle, which has now become a homicide based on the physical evidence and based on the fact that the daughter had committed this murder.
And Jackie tells Joe, oh, she's lying. She only wants more money. Well, more money, what does that mean?
I guess the trouble started with Sarah when Charlie passed away.
She said there was a life insurance policy that was worth $49,000. I received the $49,000. I felt guilty about having all that money. And Sarah, who was a starving beauty college student, had no money.
I wanted to help her. I wanted her to get on her own 2 feet for once.
Sarah was the kind of kid where she'd never really had to go out and earn a living.
You know, I guess my daughter's a bit of a sponge.
So what's all this have to do with Sarah saying you killed your husband?
Like I said, she wanted more of Charlie's insurance money.
Jackie tells Joe that she burns through that $10,000 just in a few months. And she's already back asking for more with her hand out.
So she was threatening for the money?
She was just asking weird questions about the insurance policy.
Like what?
She said, Sarah's been talking a lot about the insurance and who the beneficiary actually was. And Jackie felt that was somewhat suspicious.
She says, I'm sure that Sarah believes if I get arrested for this and I go to prison, she'll wind up with the rest of the money.
While Kenda knows that life insurance payouts don't work that way, it's entirely possible that Sarah doesn't.
Thank you for talking.
Sure. You know, I hope this gets sorted out quickly, and I'm really sorry my daughter dragged you into this.
We'll let ourselves out.
We decide we're leaving. We have no intention of arresting Jackie at this point.
Well, that was interesting. It sure was.
And all the way back to the car, looking at each other, like, how did we get involved in this?
Can we get time? Can you look into Tuttle's insurance policy?
Yeah.
Thank you, Sarah.
Good idea. I mean, even if Sarah is as greedy as Jackie says, would she really do that to her mom?
Right.
It's incredible. When you find a family like this, in a situation like this, 6 months after the event. So how do you decide that the daughter is so vindictive and so evil that she will try to put her mother in prison over something her mother didn't do. How does that work? Is it?
Hoping to learn more about Jackie and Sarah's relationship,
Barbara?
Kenda's team tracks down someone close to the family.
We discover a mutual friend whose name is Barbara Levitt.
I'm Detective Kenda.
What can I do for you, Detective?
So you're friends with Jackie Tuttle?
Yeah, I know Jackie. I've known her since 11th grade. Back when we lived in Texas. Years? I didn't think I was that old.
I'm sure flies, don't it? Do you know her daughters?
Oh yeah, I've known Jennifer and Sarah since they were born.
So we have not just a friend, but a really good friend who should have some insight into these people.
So what can you tell us about Jackie and Charlie's relationship?
Jackie met Charlie in Texas. She was still married to Edward.
She was living in a very contentious relationship with her husband. Wanted to be her way out.
So Jackie divorced Edward and married Charlie.
According to Barbara, Jackie followed her new husband all the way to Colorado Springs.
So what happened with the girls? Sarah and Jennifer, right?
Those poor girls. They ended up going and staying with their dad. I mean, Sarah took it the hardest. She was only 3 or 4. She just didn't understand.
Barbara indicated that Sarah has resented her mother her entire life.
That's supposed to love you more than anything, and here she is, not only leaving the family, but moving far away. She's basically abandoning you.
I think that's why Sarah's been a little bit of a troublemaker.
What do you mean?
You know, psychology. Sarah's childhood's warped her mind. She was always around conflict. You know, first her parents, then Jackie and Charlie.
Really? What'd they fight about?
Well, they fought about money. A lot of couples fight about money.
And I don't mean to speak ill of them.
I knew that Charlie was having an affair.
An affair?
Yeah. He had a girlfriend. Jackie was devastated.
So Jackie leaves her husband and her 2 children for the love of her life. And now, the love of her life has a girlfriend. Now that's a motive for murder. So, in this investigation of the death of Charlie Tuttle, we've come a long way. And now we learn that there's an affair involved, which really puts the emotions on edge.
They had some pretty bad arguments over this woman. Charlie swore he wasn't cheating on her.
And why did Jackie think he was having an affair?
She says that she had found some notes between Charlie and this woman called Betsy. And so Jackie was convinced that he was going to leave her for Betsy.
Is this something that could push some of you over their edge to commit murder? You bet it is.
We've got to find somebody else now that may know about that friend. And we want to know what that friend knows about the affair.
Excuse me, Hugh Hines?
Yes, sir.
I'm Sergeant Kenda. We talked on the phone. Do you mind if I ask you 2 questions?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Charlie and I worked together for nearly 7 years at the power station. He was an excellent mentor to me.
Can you tell me about Charlie?
He was very generous, very outgoing, real outdoorsman.
His passion was fishing. He really studied the subject, and he was very good at it.
I also heard he was in a bad accident.
No, I don't think so. He's depressed about his marriage.
We were close enough where we shared very personal information, and so I know that Jackie and Charlie were having difficulties in their relationship.
Was Charlie planning on leaving her?
Yeah, he was just trying to figure out how to get his retirement funds out first.
I'm not sure if these were exactly Charlie's words, but the message was that I have had it. I'm just taking my dog, my guns, and I'm going to Alaska.
Alaska?
Mm-hmm.
Was he going with someone?
No, Charlie just...
Hear a story that maybe Charlie was having an affair with some woman named Betsy.
No way, man. He wasn't having an affair with Betsy.
Charlie and Betsy were friends. There was certainly no sexual relationship. Charlie never did anything except work and fish.
Charlie, as a matter of fact, had told Jackie that he was just fed up with her and he was going to move out and divorce her. Just because he wanted away from Jackie.
Well, I appreciate the help.
Absolutely.
So what do we do now, being his wife, and taking his money and going to Alaska? Instead, he winds up with a bullet in his head. All signs point to Jackie. What we need now is the proof.
Kenda decides it's time to go back to the very beginning.
I want to talk to the first person who entered that home after the shooting.
Sarge, Eric, almost here. See ya. Come on, have a seat.
The neighbor who kicked down...
Come in. Sure. What can I help you with? Can you walk me through what happened the night Charlie Tuttle died?
Okay. Well, I was sleeping and Sarah came over and woke me up. And she said Charlie hurt himself.
I was in a fog of sleep, waking up like, what? Basically, she just wanted me to come over and check it out.
He goes with her over to the house. Jackie's on her knees in the hallway crying. He tries the door. It is, in fact, locked.
I think she encouraged me, can you break it in? I said, okay.
Charlie? Stay back. Stay back.
At that point, I smelled gun smoke. I could visually see a haze in the room.
And then I saw the blood and the gun. I ran downstairs and called 911.
In my mind's eye, I can glimpse the metal of the gun, his head, and the blood.
I've got some crime scene photos. Would you mind taking a look at them?
Yeah, sure. No, this is not what I saw.
That's not the way I found it. It was different in the photo than how I came upon the scene. Tell that there was somebody in the bed.
Charlie!
But the comforter was pulled all the way up.
Charlie!
Now, if you're going to shoot yourself, would you hide under a blanket to do it? No. But if you kill somebody and you don't want to look at them when they're dead and feel the guilt, you cover them up. Well, my. That's important.
Even with Eric Fillmore's staple is weak, as he's pondering how to strengthen it, a possible solution surfaces.
Hey, Sarge, remember when you told me to check into Charlie's insurance policy? You're gonna like this.
He confirmed that Jackie did receive $49,000 from the insurance company, paid her daughter Sarah $10,000, and they have bank deposits into Sarah's account of $10,000.
Okay, but Jackie had a goal with that.
Yeah, but you know what's strange is her other daughter, Jennifer.
Then why would the mother give money to one daughter, not the other?
Were you buying her silence for your $10,000 investment? That's a reasonable conclusion.
You know where Sarah currently lives?
Yeah, I'll get your address.
Thanks.
So we go to find her, and we find that she's living with her grandmother, Debbie.
Thank you.
Can I get you anything else?
No, thank you. So, Sarah, one thing that's been bothering us is why would your mother give you money for the life?
Sarah was dumbstruck that we knew that. She just looked at us. She had nothing to say. Nothing.
I think it was to keep Sarah's mouth shut.
Granny?
What do you mean with that?
Debbie went on to say that the day before the shooting took place, she had gotten a phone call from Jackie.
Hello?
Hey, Mom. Are you busy?
No, I just got home from work. What's going on?
Debbie is a nurse. If she combined a sleeping agent called Restoril with alcohol, would that make somebody really sleepy? Would it make them fall very, very soundly asleep?
Oh. Yeah, but you really shouldn't mix those. Why are you asking?
I'm just curious. Actually, Mom, I'm sorry, I gotta go. There's someone at the door.
Okay, I'll talk to you later. It was a very, very odd phone call.
He made that comment to me. I'm thinking back to the story about the family dinner.
I just remember feeling so tired all of a sudden. I couldn't keep my eyes open.
That Charlie didn't eat the cocktail sauce because he thought it tasted funny.
Unusual way. On July 22nd, 1990, Kenda wonders, did Jackie mix Restoril into the cocktail sauce in order to put her victim into potentially...
Does Jackie have access to that drug?
Charlie's doctor prescribed it for him after his car accident to help him fall asleep easier.
Jackie, you thought you were going to walk, but you're not. Because we're going to walk over to your house and take you to jail. After this long, prolonged investigation, all the information we have learned to the guilt of Jackie Tuttle. We're going to place her in custody for the death of her husband.
Over the next couple hours, Kenda and his team hit the streets.
They do find Jackie about 11:30 that night in a local watering hole.
What are you guys doing here?
Jackie, I have a warrant for your arrest for the murder of Charles Tuttle.
You can't be serious.
Cuff it. Tell us me.
Sarah is lying. She just wants the money.
And I looked at her and I said, well, Jackie, you have a problem.
Well, she wasn't the only one. That's not what the evidence says.
So we're going to take you in front of a jury of your peers and let them decide about your future. Come with us.
And Jackie got real silent and looked at Joe and said, I want a lawyer. She was then taken into custody, taken to the county jail, and booked.
Even without a confession, Kenda believes he knows what transpired.
In my opinion, based on what Jackie knew her husband was going to leave her,
Kenda theorizes that at that point, Jackie hatched a plan to stage her husband's suicide and collect a 5-figure insurance payout.
She asked her own mother, the nurse, how to devise some sort of drug to make him fall asleep.
But she also needed to drug her daughter so that she wouldn't be able to interfere with her plan.
This looks great. Huh. I think the horseradish went bad.
So she served the restaurant his favorite food, shrimp cocktail. But she didn't realize the drug would leave a weird taste in the sauce. And Charlie didn't eat anything that contained the drug, and that's why his toxicology screens came back negative.
However, Sarah finished her portion, and when she passed out on the couch, Jackie decided it was never.
And grabbed a towel and a handgun. To her dismay, Jackie sees that Charlie has fallen asleep on his stomach and realizes it will be suspicious if he shoots himself in the back of the head.
Jackie knows if she tries to roll him over, he might wave a gun in her hand.
And she realizes there is no turning back. And she points the gun at his head. And pulls the trigger.
And then she went to work, staging the bedroom to look like a suicide.
Everything about this crime scene is not a spontaneous thing. She thought about it and carried it out.
Jackie Tuttle is charged with first-degree murder. Her daughter, Sarah Reynolds, is not charged with any crime.
Unfortunately, you never can predict. And Jackie's mother took the stand and recanted a lot of the information that she had given before.
In the court, you need proof beyond a reasonable doubt. So now the jury is left with making a decision. Who's lying? Everybody's lying. And they found Jackie not guilty of first-degree murder. Charlie went to his grave, and nobody paid the price. It's the reality of the court system. You're innocent until you're proven guilty.
If Charlie killed himself, I think it was a wrong decision on their part. I think she got away with killing Charlie.
It's just interesting how somebody could be involved in something like that and then go on to live just a very normal, carefree life.
Hi. Wow.
Maybe she has had really all that money that she was so desperate to have.
You've often heard it said that time heals all wounds. Time also heals guilt. People's attitudes, memories, and fearfulness have washed away with time.